Okay, this is part three, Miss Lomas, and I'm still at formerly extended stay America, now Admiral Suites. Get it out. Um, the words. So what I'm about to do now is speak about when my consciousness changed. Okay, and so this is also demonstrating how there's a path for some of us that we walk cosmically, and there's different levels, or not levels, I want to say different aspects of our mind, dimensions, where we are in different forms of presence that know why we are walking a certain path. And in these dimensions and realms of our mind, there are, for me, beings spiritually and cosmically that are like me. And so as I walk the path, one dimension of my mind in on the physical plane might not know or comprehend why. Because these, when I say dimension, these are worlds I speak of immediately. But the other form or world, the presence of me, do. So I'm going to demonstrate what truthfully happened to me around 2011. But I'm pretty sure it was 2011. It's been a very long time. I don't think it was 2010, but I was definitely between 2010 and 2011. I was in Georgia, Kennesaw, Georgia, and I was lying on the couch. I have two children, Abbas Malik Bey, whose father is from Senegal, and Imani Gray Bey, whose father was on this landmass, would be considered African American Black or Negro. At the time, I was in the status of African American Black Negro, according to constitutional law. I was lying on the bed, I mean, not on the couch, not bed, on the couch, and I'm deep breathing to control the force engagements. Because right now, there are a lot of unclean spirits, mental demons, and what they do, which they are all around, not just here, they're all around trying to control the masses of people thoughts for slavery, bondage, to control the thought, the freedom of thought. So what demons, a lot of them speak Spanish from South Central America and Mexico. They have been coming here for a long time, long time. And what's happening is, before I finish the thought of what I experienced, I'm going to just go ahead and articulate this. A lot of them are from Mexico, South Central America, thought demons. They've been allowing them to come here for a long time. Not just them, they could be from India, Pakistan, just immigrants. But then there's also the ones that were already here, that immigrated here or whatever. That could be that claim that they're from the continent of Africa, African Americans. They claim that they came over here as slaves. They too are thought demons that exist, or pale skin. But what I've come to realize is those from South Central America and Mexico, African American, Black, Negro, that form, are the ones that are used the most, or they could also be from India or Pakistan. They are used, but definitely those from South Central America, Mexico, and Black or African American, they are used a lot in this area in reference to me. And what the thought demons do is they plot, and also the pale skin. Let me say that the pale skin too, but it's in a different manner. But not as much. It's still not as much as the African American, Black, Negro, South Central American, Mexican that are thought demons. What they do is sit around, and after they have studied your behavior, your thoughts, they anticipate the personality of, or the intellect of what you're going to think, and then start planning thoughts to finish out a situation, a task, before you articulate. Even force engage should cause you to say words that you didn't mean to say, because their goal is to implement subjugation and bondage, which is an attack on natural laws, freedom. And the reason how I know that this does not correspond with the frequency of Earth, the cosmos, because you can see what the reaction of what has been done from what has been done through the reaction of natural laws that are taking place, the frequencies. So when the frequency is flowing with natural law, the cosmic universe, there is a frequency that does not include so much dis-ease, chaos, murder, theft, rape, molestation, deceit. These are low frequency energies. And what happens, what I see as a cosmic being, natural, divine, celestial being, is naturally an energy fields start to react and destroy that which has attacked the natural and high frequency flow of the earth and other planets in the universe. So this is the connection I see, Mr. Elon Musk, with the worlds, spiritually, mentally, and physical worlds that I see, that I have connected, and many have, and demonstrating and being able to implement a high frequency of truth of what we are among. I am able to through testimony of truth, because I'm not the only one experiencing this. And I don't know how many are able to speak of it, but I am speaking of it, and implement a high frequency of justice, because it takes justice first. It's truth. We have to. I have to embrace truth. We have to embrace truth of all aspects, and then the spirits of justice is implemented, and through that spirit of justice, which is connected to freedom, there's a destruction of that which is attacking the energies of natural laws of the cosmic universe. So what I'm experiencing in Annapolis, like many have or are thought demons. So they engage. Imani doesn't. He's learning, relearning his mind, so he can see when he's being forced to engage, and when a thought demon is completing a thought of connecting to his intellect. Me too. I'm still mastering. This is the connection to alchemy of my mind. The alchemy of the mind, of my mind, I'm able to implement humility and allow the spirits of justice to be implemented upon them. Because thought demons do what they are here to do, to subjugate and do other forms of low frequency behavior. But through the alchemy of the mind and the body, I see I'm able to and with that there's humility. I have to be humble. I have to be very, very humble and have fruition for me of what I'm experiencing and who I am so that justice can destroy them. Anyway, that's what I see. So let me get back, and that's what I do, and I am relearning and mastering this science of alchemy. I want to say day by day, and sometimes it can be even moment by moment, Mr. Elon Musk. Anyway, um, so let me finish. Let me once again, I'm in transparency. Okay. So when I first so in Kennesaw, between 2010 and 2011, I was lying on the couch, and Imani Gray Bay and Abbas Malik Bay were playing in front of me. I fell asleep on the couch, and I experienced a lucid dream, an extreme lucid dream. This woman came to me with no smile in her eye. She was very serious. And she just looked at me. And I was looking at her. And she was looking like this. Then she put up her hand and she was looking very serious. And she started moving her hand this way and that way. And because I was already looking at her, I just started following her hand this way, that way. She didn't say one word, Mr. Elon Musk. She looked similar to me. She kept moving her hand back and forth. And I was just following her hands with my eyes. And then all of a sudden she threw her hands up in the air. And I looked up and a black dot came down and hit me here. And when that happened, I was like, like that. And I did it so, I did it on the plane I was on, and then on the physical plane, that my sons, they heard me, they heard me go like that. They shook me. They were like, Mom, are you okay? And I was like, I was still in my dream, and I was like, yes, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just said I'm okay. I'm okay. You know, and they were like, Mom, are you okay? Then I went. I don't remember opening my eyes. I might have had a glance. I remember just keeping my eyes closed, and I was still in the dream, and I felt fear to not look, but I opened my eyes and I saw white fumes all around me, all under me, just white fumes all around me. And my heart was just beating. And then I woke up. And then I got up. I didn't see her anymore. From that point on, Mr. Elon Musk, I started to behave in manners that I never behaved before. I started to I connected with Moors. At the time it was the Washita Moors. They are Moors. Many of them are, um, they encourage or implement a tribal form of Attachan Moors or Indian Moors, and they are knowledgeable of the mounds that exist here on this landmass. Many, or I should say, archaeologists and even the National Geographic, I've heard more say this before, that the mounds here are, and any forms of pyramids, the mounds are a lot older than the ones in Egypt and on that in the country of Egypt. And so I found it really interesting to say that because um, they find underground cities way, way down deep in the earth that will cover up, and they see Egyptian artifacts, and or they found Egyptian artifacts. And then in Mexico, there's this book, When Rocks Cried Out. It speaks of how, if I remember correctly, how there were cities that were covered up in Mexico, South America, cities covered up. Even in Mexico, in this book, When Rocks Cried Out, if I remember correctly, it was like it spoke of. And I'm going to leave room for error, but I'm pretty sure how those from Mexico, the brown that exists now, the brown straight black hair, were definitely um, taught to not speak of the black people because they weren't black, but the dark, black as night people that existed before them, and that the cities that existed that was covered up. So I find that very interesting as well. And so there were definitely cities, um, and many. And because and once again, when I say that, Mr. Elon Musk, because I say this not to impress you, but to stay balanced spiritually, because it's easy for ego and arrogance to take hold, and um, instead of truth. Okay, so I'm not saying this to say the dark blacks ruled the planet and were there way before the brown and whatever that, and the neck, not whatever, the brown. Way before the brown, some would say yellow man, and then the pale skin. We rule the planet. Do you know who you are? The reason why I'm laughing is because it's important. I'm laughing because even just saying whatever, I caught it, because that is a form of ego. And being a spiritual practitioner and knowing who I am, say I don't look the same as who I was um, millions of years ago, but I'm here. You don't look the same if you were here millions of years ago, but you're here. And for me to demonstrate truth or embrace truth and allow the spirit of truth to talk to me, I have to um, continue to learn the spiritual plane, learn what it is to be spiritual. Just because, which it is probably definitely true, the planet Earth was inhabited by this color of people, doesn't mean that they were on a high frequency, all of them implementing righteousness. And that is where I'm at right now. I don't want to make the same mistakes I made million years ago. I don't want to make those mistakes again. Hold on one moment. One moment. So in order so what I see that is definitely could be used as a program, especially for those who are unclean and unnatural in spirit, that are under the status of African American, Black, Negro, and they know history. They've been taught history, or even Moors, even Moors who are in their status and who of could be high status, but they are unclean in spirit through thoughts, and they embrace their lower self to focus on that thought, that ego, that arrogance, because it sort of dismiss the possibilities that that same person that is teaching truth about history that it in truth was covered up purposely, but that person may not be teaching it with the right agenda and thoughts, intentions. They're teaching it for another reason. They are dealing with a low frequency, no different from that which covered up the truth of history. They're on the same frequency, the same low frequency. There's no difference. They're doing the same crimes against humanity. No difference. Let me stop there and go to the next thought. So, Mr. Elon Musk, knowing that we are among lab experiments, AI, average citizens whose consciousness have been transferred to a body, they are not their same, they are not the original form. Blacks, African American, we among Spanish speaking that are mixed up with some type of bird DNA. They could be from South Central America, Mexico. Um, they maybe dog DNA. They think they're werewolves. Blacks that are mixed with other form of animal DNA. Male and female. Pale skins mixed with some form of animal DNA. Dog. And now that I say this, let me just tell you this. I grew up around dogs. I love dogs. It wasn't until I realized the manipulation, because I already heard stories of bestiality, but not so much, but I did hear stories of bestiality before I came to Annapolis, and before I started to grow spiritually. Okay. I already heard stories of bestiality with pale skins having sex with dogs, but of course, not of course, but many of the conscious blacks would talk about it, and once again, that ego energy was connected. It's like they look at them. They have, see, we black people don't do that. We don't have sex with dogs. This is a program. Yes, black people having sex with dogs. Black people having sex with whatever, with animals. Black people are raping. They could be from Africa or the islands, whatever. There are low frequency Moors that are doing no different than what you see the pale skin doing. But at the time I didn't know. So when you try to recover yourself and have pride of who you are, and then you have a conscious black who have an intention, an agenda of why they are teaching certain things, speaking truth, yes, but part a partial of the truth of what's going on, and you feel that energy of pride that's false, but you feel better about who you are because you're like, yes, we were here, which is true. Then it's easier to grab onto that ego and have arrogance. So getting back, so yes, I knew about um bestiality, but it was definitely coming from predominantly conscious blacks that know about the history of Africa, Egypt, and speak about the slave ships coming here and all and different forms of slave practices that were done, different abuses, rapes, molestation, breaking down the black man, breaking down the black woman, everything that I'm experiencing in or with a spiritual eye here in Annapolis, predominantly being done by blacks, African Americans, and that is also being done on a mass level other places by blacks, melanated African American blacks, or it could be some other melanated form. But they're not breaking me down. They're demonstrating acts of terrorism through molestation and rape. Unclean spirits, I speak of. Acts of terrorism and crimes against humanity. So nonetheless, the reason why I don't deal with dogs like I used to is because I know now that they have experimented with the dog and placed different codes and sciences in the dog, many of them, not all, many of the animals, to give them a form of more human intellect. And so they were already, you had many having sex with these animals. So now they're really going to have sex with the animals. Especially if they think they're the same anyway. If you have Mexicans, South Central Americans saying werewolf, bird, you have blacks saying brother like an animal, as an animal, because not all, and not all Mexican South Central Americans say these things or are mixed with bird. So those who I'm talking about, the United States government, the military, which they are a lot. Some of them are in the military. Anyway, in the spiritual truth, spirituality, y'all know who I'm talking about. You have pale skins that love their dog, that are thinking they part dog, or they don't care, or they are part dog when they having sex with dogs. So I'm saying this, it's not just pale skins. Is you got blacks having sex. So what I'm saying is not just one group, but I don't deal with dogs on that level or animals on that level anymore because I know the experiments have taken place. That's all, to make them look to be more human, with human intellect. And I know that those that have two arms, two legs, a head on the physical form have taken advantage of this science in a very beast animal manner. That's it. That's all I'm saying, Mr. Elon Musk. And that has contribute that has contributed to the low frequency that I'm speaking of. So which is an attack on the cosmic universe and natural laws. So I'm going to get back to what happened after my consciousness change. So I found myself wanting to be more spiritually, read spiritual books. I connected with Moors. I started to learn from Moors. I reclaimed my nationality. I was learning about magic, and I never thought of doing things. I was learning different words, different aspects of spirituality, and implementing, pouring libations, the drums, um, going to different magic shops, esoteric shops, burning herbs, crystals, love crystal. Only brought one, but love being there among crystals. And never experienced, never behaved in this manner before until that dream, until that lucid dream. And I started walking a path, and the taste of alcohol was still there before this happened. I used to have a taste for alcohol. The taste for alcohol was still there, but not. I stopped. I just didn't want to drink no more like I used to. I used alcohol to pour libations. I did drink some. Yes, I did. I drank some wine and so forth. But in 2014 was the last time I had a glass of wine. It wasn't, I just felt the need to not want to have alcohol. And then the taste of sex, of wanting to have sex, also disappeared for years until I came across someone who I fell in love with us in as a more, and through that spiritual plane. I'm just going to leave it there for right now. The mental plane, that I've connected both worlds through a high frequency of truth and justice. So so I was walking a path, Mr. Elon Musk. I was walking a path that one part of me, the presence, didn't have comprehension of why I'm choosing this path. But there's different realms in my mind, beings, elementals that I am the same with, that knew, that know. So I kept speaking. And so even though I was going to these shops in Georgia and I was growing spiritually, I still was hesitant to say the word spirit. I didn't start using the word spirit more until I came to Annapolis. Being among unclean spirits, all of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden the time changed, and I was just using the word spirit, spiritual, learning what that means. I was able to articulate it, and now it's growing who I am as a spiritual practitioner. But the word spirit and demons and so forth, definitely, even at the spiritual shops and whatever, these words, I was very, I didn't know, I didn't speak it. I was still walking a path and truly not having understanding why I'm ordering these spiritual books. Why am I into pouring libations, setting up altars? So I am implementing a spirit of truth and humility. So getting back to the spirits of freedom. So being among lab experiments and different forms of transhumans, what is wrong with that when you're among something different than you are? Mr. Elon Musk, I did a video about this before, so I'm just going to say this. When you are among something that is different than you, and they choose to implement low frequency energies, this is who they are, that has disrupt the frequency and flow of natural laws, cosmic laws. That's the problem. And And when I say you, I'm saying I, or those that of high thought, knows that the spirits of freedom and other high frequency energies flow in these cosmic laws, natural laws. That is the concern. So what I realize is here in Annapolis, people will begin to start saying racist. She's racist. Blacks. I've never ever been among blacks, African Americans, saying racist to another African American in reference to blacks and blacks, or African American, until I came to Annapolis. Now I'm out of the status of African American. I'm a Moor. But to be a Moor, if in constitutional law, is saying that you were once in the status of African American, Black, Negro, that the constitutional law, the organic instrument that harmonize in natural law with the cosmic universe, you are not in that status anymore. So now you are in a status with the Constitution, the organic instrument, because you choose to reclaim a nationality that is that is implemented through constitutional laws, the organic instrument that harmonize in natural law in the cosmic universe. So that doesn't constitute racism. But if you are, I'm not saying everyone that says racist is this, something else, and you know you are something else, and you have an agenda through rape, molestation, and force to maintain, invade, harms a mind, a body, a free spirit, to control thoughts, and you see through manipulation this is how it must be done, then you will start to use different trickery. Some words in conscious blacks would say technology to do so. Because all I did was transition from a status of being outside of constitutional law and not implementing constitutional law, because I was outside of constitutional law, African American, Black, Negro, to a status where I claim a nationality to implement constitutional laws. That's all I did. That's an organic instrument. So that's on the physical plane. But the Constitution is also, what I realize, is demonstrating it is a instrument that navigates on worlds, in worlds, because the Constitution speaks of free speech, free religion. It has a religious clause, and it's an organic instrument. So if you are able to articulate your thoughts in a free manner, free thought, then you are able to implement free speech in a manner that uh, connects or corresponds, I'm going to use that word, to the Constitution, which is an organic, and what I see now is a spiritual instrument, a cosmic instrument, Mr. Elon Musk. It is. And if you are demonstrating yourself to, or implementing a form of religion through the behavior of freedom that too is connected to natural law if it corresponds and in the frequency of cosmic and natural laws. So, what would be wrong with a cannibal who feels they should have the right to eat human meat? It's their nature. It's the nature of the cannibal to eat human meat. Mr. Elon Musk, what I'm connecting is frequency. The cannibal that feeds off children, women, and men is living in a frequency, a low realm that is outside of a high thought frequency of cosmic laws that has always been, that is, was, and has always been here. That's that's the difference, and that's the concern. And that's how I know that it's not supposed to be happening. Frequency. What's wrong with the black Negro that's not a man or woman, the females or males, or those that speak Spanish that's not a man or woman, females and males, or the pale skin that is not a man or woman, the females or males? What's wrong with them sitting around someone's room, these that are able to implement a code that a government have given them to force mentally engage the sheath and body and the mind to a person who they just see as it's a, like I hear a lot of the people here say she's a baby. Once again, that is manipulation and technology of psychology so that it can implement in their thought process why it should be able to engage a demonic demon, a thought demon. So what is wrong with these transhuman lab experiments, or just transhuman being amongst and following, stalking, force engaging Imani mentally and spiritually and saying we're helping them? I didn't ask for their help in that manner, mentally, spiritually, to engage in my body. Neither did Imani. So they are violating the spirits of freedom. Not only that, when they create a situation of chaos, which this tactic has been done over and over and over again in different war tactics all around the globe, planet Earth, and then come back and say we're here to help you. Imani Bey and Rhonda Arrington-Bey, those Moors need help. That is low frequency. That is an attack against natural laws. It's deceit, manipulation. It is a crime against humanity. So what I've done, Mr. Elon Musk, is I have been able to connect the worlds. And I see that there is no coincidence why I am on X with you. And you are speaking about free speech, because free speech is connected to free thought. Thoughts are energies. That's mentalism. And then there's the connection of the spirit world. And then to bring up the Constitution, which is a cosmic organic instrument. I use the word cosmic. It's not in Black's Law Dictionary. Organic, the word organic is in Black Law Dictionary. An instrument. that correlates and harmonizes in natural law with the cosmos. It's not a coincidence. That's what I see, Mr. Elon Musk. I didn't know you was gonna own X when I first, and that it was gonna change to X. I didn't know, but I have been praying and commanding the constitutional laws. Not realize, I mean, realize. I realized. Excuse me, I'm wrong. Well, years ago, Mr. Elon Musk, I saw the star on our flag of Moors that has the five-pointed green star in the middle: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I felt that energy in me, and I started to try to comprehend the complexity of each individual energy. The complexity of love. What is love? What is truth? The complexity, the high frequency. What is peace? What is freedom? And what is justice? The high frequency. I saw the star being cosmic inside of me, not just outside. What are these energy fields in me? So no, we are not the same. Oh, hold on. Let me hold this thought and let me redirect this energy. Okay, one moment. It's not about not being the same. What this time is about is what those that are not the same do in reference to harmonizing and or not harmonizing in natural laws in a frequency that has always been, is, was, and always been here. And are they able to harmonize in a high thought in that frequency? That's what it's about. And so if they are not, and then they are forced breeding to develop children that have a blockage that are not, then that, because we individually are energy, we are our energy beings, then that's the issue. So to attack natural laws, knowing that each individual mind has the potential to connect to a high frequency of divinity that can heal and uh, um, and harmonize with the cosmic universe in the way we are supposed to, and to breed forcefully a kind of species that will never be able to connect in that manner through the of a higher self. That is an issue, because that means the agenda was all along is to keep the frequency low, to keep a savage, unclean frequency realm existing, and that the attack has always been on natural, divine, and cosmic laws, righteousness, Islam. That's all I have to say.